Of all the disturbing and heartbreaking stories coming out of Afghanistan this weekend, this might be the most infuriating of all. Two highly trusted sources, investigative reporter Lara Logan and Texas Representative Dan Crenshaw, a former Navy SEAL who lost an eye in an IED explosion in Afghanistan, are independently reporting that over the past few days, Americans have been turned away from entering the Kabul airport. Logan tweeted this on Saturday. Most Americans don't understand what's happening in Kabul. Been on this all night with no end. U.S. citizens are fighting through enemy lines to get to the airport, and when they show their blue passport to the 82nd Airborne soldiers at the gate, many are turned away and sent back to the Taliban. All that stands between these Americans and safety home is the U.S. government and military. President Biden had supposedly sent the 82nd Airborne to Kabul to facilitate the mass evacuation. What in the world is going on here? Dan Crenshaw said, America, you need to know this. Biden is not letting U.S. citizens through the airport gates. It's been impossible to get anyone through for the past 24 hours. This administration has been lying about their intent to save Americans. Unforgivable. Weirdly, the Biden White House is also trying to say that ISIS-K is the enemy, not so much the Taliban. One Green Beret and others in a position to know report that they're really one and the same. I was on the same track a few days ago when I called this a distinction without a difference. It's like saying that one pedophile is better than another pedophile, but you wouldn't let either one babysit your child. They're both pedophiles. We don't know how many Americans are stranded in Afghanistan. Some reports have said 350, but it could be in the thousands. The Biden administration says it's evacuated thousands of people, but it never says how many of those are American citizens. The State Department, officially in charge of the evacuation effort, apparently is not helping. If soldiers are turning away Americans, it's on their order, not the Pentagon's. Texas Representative Ronnie Johnson, former admiral in the Navy, said on Saturday, my team has been on the phone all day trying to get American citizens out. They've been just outside the airport numerous times, but the State Department will not help them. But American citizens aren't the only ones being turned away at the airport gates. As reported in the New York Times, students and alumni from the American University of Afghanistan were as well. This came after about 600 of them had gathered at a safe house, then boarded buses to take them, they thought, to freedom. After waiting for several hours, they were told that evacuations had been called off. An email told them to return home. It said that since the U.S. troop deadline for evacuation is August 31st, the U.S. military was turning from evacuating civilians to getting its own personnel out at that time. You think that's bad? Well, it gets worse. They're terrified now for their lives as they also learned that the U.S. military, quote, following protocol, end quote, had shared a list of their names and passport information with the Taliban regarding the airport checkpoints. Their identities are now known to the new murderous regime, and there's no way for them to evacuate. As Nick Arama at Red State reports, at a time when military aircraft are at such a premium that commercial jets are being called into service, President Biden approved the use of a military plane by Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm so she could fly last Monday to a non-essential diplomatic summit in Ukraine. Why the frivolous waste of a military craft when it was so badly needed for the evacuation? This whole thing makes about as much sense as anything else going on right now. And also recall the Marine officer who was relieved of duty within hours of criticizing military leaders for the deaths of 13 service members last week? Scheller, who received a Combat V for valor and a Bronze Star, exhibited conviction by standing up to his superiors when such action was badly needed. He dared to say that the U.S. should never have abandoned the strategic Bagram Air Base. Some of his fellow officers, even though they were supportive, have urged him to take his video down. But over 30,000, some of whom served under him, have liked and commented on it. He knew he would burn his career to say what he did, but he took the position that the issue was more important than his own career. Saturday, Michael Goodwin in the New York Post posed the hypothetical, What if Biden and his administration really are every bit as bad as they look? Well, with the way the media have been running cover for him for the past 8 months to make him look good, even including, although to a lesser extent, throughout his bungling of the Afghanistan situation, Biden is at least as bad as he looks. But I'll tell you what, I've got a really good way to keep you from making bad decisions like Biden. All you got to do is hit the subscribe button below and the notification bell, then follow that up with a like. And let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll be live streaming on Thursday at about 1 p.m. Central to give another update on the news of the week, as well as to answer any question that you may have and send in. And if you want more of my takes on the news of the day, be sure to sign up for my newsletter on MikeHuckabee.com. They'll get delivered to your email inbox twice a day, and it's absolutely free. Well, that's it for this edition of The Breakdown. I'm Mike Huckabee.